Hello all, this is Zorch, and welcome back to Space Engineers. I have something kind of interesting. I'd consider it much more of a prototype / proof of concept thing than a working product. But the basic idea is gravity drives are pretty awesome for heavy ships. However, to control them, you have to either go into the control panel and run it, or put buttons on your hotbar. So what I've tried to do is make a system by which you can control the gravity drive using WASD, or WASTA, as I prefer to call it. So let's, just so I can demonstrate some things here. Okay, it is in fact on the HUD. I want gravity range, sensor field range. And I think they are both on right now, which is okay. So, this is the control system. It's basically a big empty room with gravity on all 6 sides. As you can see, gravity is about 0.3. I'll get to why that number is the number it is, and there are sensors for all 6 sides as well. So if we hop inside here, inside we have what I am calling the control jack. Now the gravity field, as you can see here, only reaches to a half meter away from the middle, which is how wide this is. And there's artificial mass blocks on each edge, so it's basically a gravity grapple. It holds it in place in the middle. It has a remote control block and an antenna and all that good stuff, gyroscopes and thrusters. Now, when you control it, the thrusters push against the gravitational field and get closer to the edge. So let's switch from looking at the gravity generators to looking at the sensor fields. Let's see here. Turn these off the HUD and turn these on the HUD. Alright, so these are the same as the gravity generators. Their field extends minimally, just to the edges of the chamber, and inside the sensors extend even further, not as close to the middle as the gravity field. So if the control jack moves, it activates a sensor which you can tie into your gravity drive system and make it go. And you can set it up so it's oriented the same way as your ship, so that you can just use WASD, C, and plus in order to control what you're doing. So let's just get rid of this because of some issues with group names. Some things might not be our friends. Over here, I've got a working, more or less, ship to demonstrate. So I've got my gravity drive up front. I put 9 in because it was a nice number, but it's actually a bit of overkill. And again, I'll go into that in a second. These gravity fields, I think, are 0.2 Gs or something like that. Okay, so in order to drive this, you hop up in your control seat and get down. You hop in, you turn off the inertial dampeners for the whole ship. And you hop into the control jack and you control it. And you turn its inertial dampeners off. Alright, so you can see in through the windows, which I found is very handy. And so you just hit in the direction you want to go. And we start moving. You can see that we're in relation to the satellites. We are moving. One of the things you'll notice is that the ship is actually accelerating faster than my control jack. And that's because I haven't quite perfectly calibrated anything. This is what I was talking about earlier. You have to calibrate the strength of the acceleration of the ship to match the acceleration of the control jack. Otherwise, there's a whole slew of problems. I figured out how to calibrate it using good old classical physics, just force is equal to mass times acceleration, using the force I get from my thrusters compared to the gravitational thrust. I didn't do it quite perfectly. There's been a number of changes I made since last time I calibrated it. So the design of your ship is very important. You're also going to want to make sure that you set up the center of gravity for your ship to be the center of the gravity drive. I don't know if you'll be able to see from here. If I look... No, I'll have to show it in a slightly different view. So, as you can see, it's just kind of bouncing around in there, but the gravity field is holding it in place. So we've gotten up to maximum acceleration. One of the more difficult parts is stopping it. It does like to go out of control. So now, okay, so we have to cancel out that movement. And this is one of the reasons why it's more of a proof of concept thing than anything. So you actually have to manually counter it, because if you use inertial dampeners, it'll fly through the ship. I've had that happen a couple times. And unfortunately my ship has started spinning. My control jack has started spinning, so it is not quite working properly anymore. Which is unfortunate. Well, let's just demonstrate what happens if you turn the inertial dampeners on. It runs into the edge. Eventually it does stop moving. But of course I've done damage. I have to work on it to make it a bit easier to control. The higher your gravitational field on the... Ooh. Are my inertial dampeners on? Oh, nope, they were not. The higher the gravitational field on the control cube, the more stable and the less work you have to do to... Oh god. This is why you can't use inertial dampeners. I forgot to turn them on the ship proper. But as you can see, I did center the center the thrust inside of the gravity drive. So this is something I'm working on making it a bit better. It controls reasonably well, and it does work. You can control the ship using your WSD keys, which is kind of neat. Unfortunately, it is not perfect. So it is something I'm going to keep working on. I wish pistons could, you could fight piston, like turn a piston off and have it do what you wanted. Because otherwise I'd be using those rather than a gravitational field to keep it in the middle. I just need something I can push against, and it'll reset itself to the middle. Ultimately, though, the current design isn't perfect. It definitely needs a lot of improvement to make it work. I would like to kind of demonstrate again, this time without, letting it fall apart. So we'll put a new control jack in. And we'll just block this off. Who needs to see? And... okay. Turn those off. Control jack. Control, turn those off. Okay. So now we're moving. Yeah, everything isn't quite rightly calibrated, which makes me a little sad. But it takes a bit of skill in order to travel in multiple directions at once. So right now we're going backwards. Okay, let's switch to going forward. Yeah, unfortunately it's not at the point where you can control your ship carefree. Alright, if you can gently get the thing to one of the walls and then turn the inertial dampeners on, that will eventually stop the ship. So that is one feature I was going for it. But another problem with this is this gives you no access to the gyros on the ship itself. Which is unfortunate. Those are very, important. But yeah, it's a neat idea. I'm actually I had a lot of fun designing it, thinking of the gravity tracks and the sensors and everything. And also calibrating everything made me feel like, well, I was doing real physics and stuff. I've got a whole sheet of math I was doing, because you have to, like I said, you have to make sure the acceleration of your little ship down here is the same as the acceleration of the whole ship due to the gravity drive, and that's affected by the strength of your gravitational field, the number of artificial mass blocks, the mass of the whole ship itself, the number of thrusters you have, the mass of the thing, whether it's rotated, and I don't know. It was lots of fun doing. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any ideas for how to improve on the design itself, let me know. I'd love to hear it. And in any case,
thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to let me know how you felt. And if you'd like to see more from me, click on any of the links you see here. I hope you have a good one.